Since starting this show, I've gotten a lot of interesting comments from people saying that I actually don't like anything current out right now. That because of the fact that I'm so negative when it comes to certain things, that there is just nothing good about music to me. Now that is just not true. I actually like a lot of current generation bands and a lot of people out right now. It's just I tend to get a little bit overdramatic and a little bit defensive whenever I see a bunch of bands just not trying and putting out a bunch of crap, and then their fans turning around and pretending like it doesn't happen and turning a blind eye to it. Newsflash, folks, you don't have to stand in front of the fan. You can step back and say, what the hell? That's what I'm here for. But I get it. I really shouldn't actually just say that, and I should actually be a little bit more positive sometimes. So I've decided tonight I'm going to go ahead and share something with you guys. Actually something I enjoy. So we're going to go ahead and take ourselves back to the 90s, to California again, where we're going to go ahead and look at the missing link in music and something that's kind of disappeared, sadly. You'll see what I mean in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, this is POD. In 1992, POD started with a bunch of friends deciding to jam out together in a garage, a way to, as lead singer Sonny Sandoval says, pass the time so as to not get in trouble in a bad area of town. Already I'm starting to like this. I mean, positive message for the kids, something to look forward to. I see nothing wrong here. Now, as I've mentioned before in a past video, POD have very strong roots in their spirituality. This leads them as people, and through that, their music. Though, when asked if he considers himself a Christian band, Sonny Sandoval has said that he is a Christian and in a band, but to label it as that would limit the music. Over the next 7 years, POD would be grabbing audiences and working to maintain a name and make themselves big. By 1999's album, the fundamental elements of Southdown, the band had reached mainstream success and was a popular feature on MTV at the time with Rock the Party. Now, about this time, this has always been a very favorite time for me with this band. This is actually when I found them, and I've always liked this album. It's always been very different, very new sound from everything I've ever heard, and anything that's ever really been played at this time. It's just so refreshing to hear, and personally a big help to me. In 2003, the band would hit a personal snag when guitarist Marco Cruel would leave the band for personal reasons and to start up another side project, though in 3 years the original lineup would come back. In Marco's hiatus from the band, the album Payable on Debt would be released. The title comes from the words that the letters POD stand for. Now, even though this band is a personal favorite of mine, it's about this time I should talk about some of the aspects I don't really like about them, and show the misprints the band has. Payable on Death would be the last bit recorded with the original lineup. It's a bit of a more dark turn for them, what we know now as fans, and to be quite honestly, it's not as good. It wasn't the worst the band put out, but it still shows the rocky relationship and the internal struggle that's obviously happening at the time of the recordings. Under the new lineup, the band recorded Testify. Now, remember earlier when I said that the last album, Payable on Death, wasn't the worst thing this band has ever come up with? Yeah, there's a reason. This is the worst album this band has come up with. It's just not good. I mean, A for effort, and it's not the worst piece of music I've ever heard in my life, but to be quite honest, it's still bad. I mean, it's just not really as good as anything else I'd ever heard. And you can definitely tell the problems that this band had been having, trying to stay afloat and just be out there for their fans. It was just nothing really good. Only 2 singles were released from this album. Lights Out, which quickly faded into obscurity, and Goodbye for Now, which featured then relatively unknown Katy Perry. I'm not kidding. Katy Perry was on that single. Go check it out. Go ahead, I'll wait. Pause the video and go check it out. Told you. By this point, the band was making a point to appear everywhere they could to make coverage, from Mind of Venecia to the WWE. No one was safe from this public display of "Please notice us!" It was obviously sad to see. Someone that once wrote powerful lyrics about life that would be reduced to making loud yelping for wrestlers and overhyped comedians. In April of 2008, When Angels and Serpents Dance will be released. Now, this is not a bad album for anyone that's ever liked it, but it's nothing close to what we're talking about from the early 90s. I just don't know what to say about this anymore. Around this time, it just became to the point that they're trying to make sure that people know about this, and really are fading out. They're there, but they're not really known. You really had to actually search for their stuff. After trying to release some singles from the album, the audience had enough. Taking the hint to walk away, the band decided that they would walk away to become stronger and wow the crowds again. This would come as a new album that would release sometime in 2010. Now, in spite of all the bad things that's been going on with this band, the bad misprints of albums, the weird cameos that they're doing with everybody under the sun, I actually like this band still. I really would consider myself an actual genuine fan, and when their new album comes out this year, I'm looking forward to it. So, I will be keeping an eye out for the new album. Will it be as good as the older stuff? Will it fade away? Time will soon tell. And that's all I have tonight. Wasn't too bad, actually. Actually, I kind of like talking about bands that I, prefer and would actually recommend to you guys. It's a little bit of a mischief. Alright, well, what are we doing next week?